You are worth $2 billion. In 6 months, you will be in federal prison. This is how it happened. You're born in Greenwich, Connecticut. Your father is already wealthy, legitimately wealthy, from commercial real estate. 7-bedroom home, tennis court, view of Long Island Sound. You attend the best private schools. You summer in the Hamptons. Everything about your upbringing screams success, the American dream fulfilled. But there's something else you inherit. Your father has a particular worldview. The world is divided into two types of people, he tells you over dinner when you're 12. Those who create value, and those who extract it. The extractors always win because perception is the only reality that matters. You don't fully grasp what he means then. You will later. You excel at everything. Captain of the debate team. Varsity lacrosse. Near-perfect SAT scores. You get into Wharton. At Penn, you study finance. You're genuinely good at it. You understand derivatives, risk assessment, portfolio theory. You could have been a legitimate success. But during your junior year, you have a realization that changes everything. You're in a corporate finance lecture about venture capital. Invest in 10 startups. 9 fail. 1 succeeds spectacularly. The returns from the one cover all losses and generate profit. And you think, what if you just skip the part where you actually invest in anything? The thought is intrusive at first. You push it away, but it returns. What if you could generate returns without the messy reality of actual business? What if money flows in, earlier investors get paid from new investments, and everyone believes they're getting wealthier? You graduate summa cum laude. Your first job is at a mid-tier investment bank in Manhattan. You're good at it. 6 figures your first year. But you're restless. You see the senior partners working 80-hour weeks, subordinate to clients, to regulators, to market forces. You want to be the market force. At 26, you leave the bank. You start your own investment advisory firm. You rent a modest office in Midtown. Hire a receptionist and junior analyst. Register with the SEC. Everything is perfectly legal, perfectly legitimate. Your pitch is elegant. You've developed a proprietary trading strategy that generates consistent returns regardless of market conditions. You explain it using complex financial terminology that sounds sophisticated but is deliberately incomprehensible. Most people nod along, not wanting to admit they don't understand. The promised returns are conservative, just 10 to 12% per year with remarkable consistency. Plausible enough that sophisticated investors don't immediately dismiss it. Your first clients are family friends, people who've known you since childhood. $50,000 here, $200,000 there. You send them monthly statements showing steady growth. The statements are complete fiction. You create them yourself. Here's the secret. Most investors never withdraw anything. They see growth and reinvest. They tell their friends. Those friends invest. You use the new money to pay the few who do want to withdraw. Everyone who withdraws gets exactly what they expected. They become your best marketers. Within 2 years, you're managing $50 million. None of it is actually invested in anything. It sits in a business checking account. You pay yourself a 2% management fee. That's $1 million a year for maintaining the illusion. You hire more employees. A CFO, a compliance officer, client service representatives. They all believe they work for a legitimate investment firm. Only you know the truth. The compliance officer is particularly important. Former SEC attorney, brilliant and thorough. Everything she does makes your operation look more legitimate. She has no idea she's providing cover for fraud. You get married at 29. Wellesley graduate, works in museum curation. The wedding is at her family's estate in the Berkshires. Your father gives a speech about how proud he is. Your father-in-law mentions moving his portfolio to your fund. You smile and tell him you'd be honored. The business grows exponentially. $50 million becomes $100 million. Then $300 million. Then $1 billion. You're featured in financial publications. You give carefully crafted interviews where you downplay your success. This humility makes you more credible. You develop exclusivity, start turning people away. We're at capacity. This creates desperate demand. People beg to invest with you. You make exceptions for well-connected individuals. They feel privileged. Your lifestyle expands. Mansion in Greenwich, weekend home in the Hamptons, art collection. You're not entirely sure anymore what's real value and what's just collective delusion. Your wife gives birth when you're 32, a daughter. You hold her in the hospital and feel pure joy. For exactly 30 seconds, you consider stopping everything, confessing. The moment passes. You have too much to lose. The CFO you hired starts asking uncomfortable questions when you're 34. He's noticed discrepancies, closes your office door, presents detailed analysis. The numbers don't work, he says carefully. You feel your heart spike, but your face remains calm. Years perfecting this mask. You explain using incomprehensible jargon. Make it so complex that questioning it further would reveal his own lack of understanding. He wants to believe you. His salary, his family's health insurance, his daughter's private school, all depend on this firm. People believe what they need to believe. After he leaves, you sit alone for an hour. You're now at $3 billion in reported assets. The gap between fiction and reality is so vast, there's no possible way to close it. The only path is forward. AM, hyperventilating. You tell her it's work stress. She suggests therapy. The therapist prescribes Xanax. You start drinking more. Scotch after work. 2 glasses becomes 3 becomes 4. You're 37 when the 2008 financial crisis hits. Everything crashes. And you, impossibly, report consistent positive returns. This should raise red flags. You're now so deep the fraud has its own gravity. 40 employees. Charity galas. Non-profit boards. Everyone respects you. You're 40 when the CFO comes back. He's done more analysis. He knows. There are no trades, he says quietly. This entire firm is a fraud. You don't deny it. You just look at him and wait. I have 2 children, he says. My wife doesn't work. My son has medical issues. I need this job. You understand, he'll keep quiet. Not because he's corrupt, but because he's trapped. Markets recover. But redemption requests are exceeding new investments. The mathematics of Ponzi schemes are unforgiving. Growth must be exponential. The moment it flattens, collapse becomes inevitable. You're 42 when you realize you have maybe 6 months. You consider running. You have $100 million hidden offshore. But your wife, your 2 children, your parents, your entire life is here. You consider. You write drafts of notes, but you can't do it. So you continue. You go to the office, review fabricated statements, smile, project confidence. The holidays arrive. Your family skis in Aspen. Your daughter is 13, your son is 9. They have no idea that in 4 months, their entire world will detonate. You return to an email from the SEC routine inquiry. They want to review your trading records. It's over. You hire a criminal defense attorney. He's frank. You're looking at 20 to 30 years federal prison, minimum. What about my family? Your wife will be fine legally. Financially, she'll lose everything. The government will seize all assets. You tell your wife that evening. She doesn't believe you at first. Then she does. She stares at you like you're a stranger. Who are you? She finally asks. You don't have an answer. The FBI arrests you on a Tuesday morning. They let you put on a suit before they handcuff you. They walk you out past your children. Your daughter cries. Your son asks if daddy is going to jail. You tell him yes. The media circus is immediate. You're the lead story everywhere. You trend on social media. You become a symbol of greed, fraud, corruption. Your early investors realize their retirement accounts never existed. Some are financially destroyed. You receive letters in jail from an elderly couple working retail in their 70s because of you. Your trial lasts 6 weeks. The evidence is overwhelming. Your CFO testifies against you in exchange for a reduced sentence. You apologize. You explain you never intended for it to go this far. Every word is true, none of it matters. The judge sentences you to 25 years. You're 43. You'll be 68 when you're released. Your children will be grown. You'll have missed their entire lives. Your wife files for divorce, takes back her maiden name. Your children will grow up explaining that, yes, their father is that person, but they don't have a relationship with him. Your father visits you once. Did you learn this from me? He asks. You tell him no. He leaves. You never see him again. He dies 3 years into your sentence. You're not allowed to attend the funeral. Prison is exactly as terrible as you imagined. Medium security because of the scale of your fraud. You learn to keep your head down. You survive. You spend a lot of time thinking about what you are. Sociopath? Psychopath? You felt terrible, had panic attacks, considered. But you did it anyway, for years. Destroyed thousands of lives. You think about the moment it started. That thought at Wharton. If you could go back, would you dismiss it? Or was this always inevitable? 25 years is a long time to think. You're the Ponzi scheme mastermind. You were born into privilege, had every advantage, could have been anything. Instead, you became this. Built an empire on lies, destroyed thousands of lives, lost your family, your freedom, your name, and the darkest part is that you still remember how it felt in the beginning. The thrill of it. The intellectual satisfaction of creating something from nothing. The power of making people believe. And even now in prison, wearing an orange jumpsuit, knowing you'll die here, there's a small, shameful part of you that still feels proud of how well it worked. That's what you are. That's your truth. And you'll carry it for whatever remains of your life.